All right, welcome to High Performance Athletics. This is our video series for athletes. This is our third video. If I gotta make a caveat here, if you hear the Greatest Showman soundtrack in the background, I apologize, but I'm not sorry. So just gonna throw that out there. So today, instead of going into a normal sequential pattern with our 10 commandments, we're gonna go and get into the nitty-gritty a little bit, and we're going to talk about nutrition. Nutrition is one of the most difficult things to comprehend, and also one of the most frustrating things from the coaching staff standpoint and from the athlete standpoint, because every body is different when it comes to nutrition. Every single person on the planet, even though we look a lot alike, are different enough and have different allergies and different likes and dislikes that food gets really, really difficult to do. I don't like throwing blanket quote-unquote diets out for people at all. I don't think that is a one-size-fits-all approach. But in a separate video series, we talk about the minutia of eating, and we discuss some of the most common current eating plans, paleo, keto, things like that, gluten-free, kind of touch on all that stuff too, so at least you have some ammunition. Because what we found is that if you just type in nutrition or best diet plan into a Google search bar, or Bing if you use Bing, there's millions of responses, and everybody has an opinion because every body is a little bit different. So I want to touch on it because when you start to come into the gym, you understand there's this hierarchy of development that we have. And for us, nutrition is at the very bottom because it's the foundation for performance. And we eat to live, right? Which is one of those things, like, you have to eat. Right? You have to eat in order to survive. So I want to at least touch on this and give you guys a very, very good starting point for developing your eating habits. And that goes right into this next thing, is what we're trying to do with our nutrition is develop habits that can be sustainable for your lifetime. We don't want to make a short-term gain dietarily only to fall off the wagon and go back to wherever else you were going before that. In addition, I don't want to create such a strict behavior where you're counting almonds out on a napkin at a party because it's going to fit your, dietary requirement of almonds for the day. There's a fine, there's a huge gambit in between there, and I want to just try to find some balance with that. We get into some things kind of in this talk a little bit, and we'll talk about alcohol and sugar and stuff like that. But really, the simpler you eat, the better it is for most people. If you want to start somewhere, I would email your primary coach, or you can email me, and I will look at what you're currently eating and give you some suggestions on things to improve upon, things you're already doing a good job of. And a lot of that's going to be some give and take. Hey, what do you like to eat is going to be one of the things I'm going to ask you. So if you want to email me, it's just drew@teamhpa.com, and we'll talk about that. All right. We want to make sure that whatever dietary prescription we subscribe to, that it's sustainable. I want to make sure that it's sustainable for the long haul, and I've created a habit that I can do it forever. Whether or not the supplement industry booms or busts, it does not affect my day-to-day eating. Whether or not the latest diet trend comes on the market, it does not affect my day-to-day eating, because I've developed a habit of eating the right types of things. There's a couple of mantras that we use, but one of the most simple mantras, it was written years and years and years ago, and I love it. We can make it apply to both meatitarians and vegetarians, but it's eat meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, no sugar. That is like the broadest stroke I could possibly imagine that works for most people. Eat meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, no sugar. Eat in an amount that sustains your lifestyle, but not that packs on the body fat. Again, simple, right? I mean, it's just not complex. You don't have to make it complex at all. An idea that we have is taking these gigantic dinner plates that we have at home and maybe taking it down to a salad plate. All right. I want to eat food. I want to eat real food, as unprocessed food as I possibly can at all times. That's a good general guideline for most people, is take the processing of your food down. When I'm making my plate of food, I want to put veggies on my plate first, and I can have a good heaping helping of veggies and then add protein and kind of fat later on. And we'll talk about the reason for that down the road, but it's veggie first. I want to eat a mostly plant-based diet, but good quality sources of protein and good quality sources of fat as well. I want to limit my alcohol intake. Limit my alcohol intake. Not say don't drink it. If you're not a drinker, good, fantastic, good for you. If you are a drinker, good, fantastic. However, limit the amount of consumption. Alcohol, no matter how you cut it, are just empty calories. That's some people's coping mechanism from a very stressful day. It's a social thing for a lot of people. We live in a town that drinking's a big part of, kind of our who defines us, and there's nothing wrong with that. If that's your life choice, go for it. However, there's no nutritional value to drinking alcohol. Right? None whatsoever. But if you're going to do it, just be accountable to yourself for it. Man, I feel like crap yesterday. Well, I had 6 beers the day before. Well, be accountable for that. All right? What about vegetarians? All right, vegetarians can fall into this guideline too. So instead of eating meat, just eat good quality sources of protein. Plant-based is totally fine. And vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, no sugar. Let's talk about no sugar. We say no sugar. What we mean is no added or refined sugar. Yes, I know fruit has got natural sugar in it. All right, vegetables have natural sugar in it. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the added stuff, the white table sugar that you add, or high fructose corn syrup, or like agave syrup, and all this stuff they add to things to make them taste good. If we start to limit that, the general trend of people is they get healthier. Right? Limit sugar intake, people get healthier. It's not a fat thing, it's a sugar thing that we found for the last couple of years. And until that changes, until we come out with a better option for folks, I'm going to keep saying that. Limit sugar intake to get healthier. All right? So one of those things. I want to make sure that we get an understanding of a general guideline for the quantity to eat. Kind of talked about the quality for a second, but the quantity to eat. So the action step for you guys is going to be using the hand model for designing a plate. Never done it before, it's okay. I'm going to help you out a little bit. So how you build your plate is I'm going to use my hand as the model. So first off, we talked about veggies, to fill your plate with veggies. So I get a full, like fistful, so this is the whole volume of the fist, a whole fistful of veggies. And if I really, really like veggies and I'm really trying to like get on this bandwagon, I'm going to take 2 fists full of veggies, and that goes on my plate first. That veggie should take up about 2/3 of your plate anyway. After that, I get the palm of my hand size piece of protein. I don't need more than that. Not for sustainability. I don't need more protein than this. I don't need 18 chicken breasts every time I eat something. I just need a protein source. Good quality protein source, vegetarian or carnivorous, your choice, but your palm size protein. After that, we can kind of talk about starchy carbohydrates. All right, so like potatoes and rice and things like that. I usually limit that to like 1 cupped hand, so like inside can fit inside the palm of my hand, cupped is a good starting place for serving of starchy carbohydrates. All right, vegetables is a whole fist. Starchy carbs is going to be a soup palm, so you can pour soup in your palm. It's kind of nerdy, but there you go. And then fat, use your thumb. All right, so like avocados, butter, you know, things that are good fats for your body to have, you use your thumb as the guide. So if you made a plate that's just vegetables, all right, the palm of your hand is going to be the protein, the hand cupped is going to be your starchy carbohydrates, and then you get that as far as fat, and you're just learning how to do this, and that fits on a salad plate, you are in the right ballpark. All right, that gives you a lot of leeway to talk about what types of foods you're going to eat, what you like, what you don't like, but there's our start. So eat whole foods as unprocessed as you can. So eat meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, no sugar. That is the foundation for eating. That gives you lots of leeway starting out, and you're still getting new to the gym, so I understand you don't want to hear me lecture too much about what you should be eating. That's in a different video. So this is just introduction to nutrition. Please, 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 if you guys have any questions about this, reach out to your primary coach or reach out to me. Again, it's just drew@teamhpa.com. All right, guys, again, thanks for trusting us with your fitness journey. I hope your first couple days, couple weeks in the gym has been awesome. Keep checking these videos out because there's lots of cool information in there. All right, see you guys later.